Guys, we really need to work on our language for things. Stop using the language that very wealthy people want us to use. The people that own the majority of the media, that want us fighting with each other. You know, like some, they want like a race war. Others, or maybe there's overlap, some want a class war between like all of us, regular folks, that's 99%. Like they invented the idea of the middle class. The middle class is a figment of people's imagination constructed by wealthy people. You know what that does? It hedges people like, oh, you know, you're lower class, you're like the impoverished class, and I'm the middle class, or I'm the middle upper class, or like all these BS categories. If you have to work for a living, and you literally have to, otherwise you starve and like you're in destitute or become a ward of the state or something, good luck with that. I'd love a system where like that wasn't such a catastrophic thing. It just meant that like you were going to get the help that you need to get back into the system. But I digress. That's BS, right? Like we should be thinking of tax breaks for the rich as normalized theft of the working class. Because when rich people get tax breaks, that just means that there's less money going into the system to pay for the things that we all need. All things that they take advantage of and they utilize. Like they need so many things from society that the less that they pay, the more they get that shit for free. Like if you want to use the argument against regular folks all the time, who basically are just being a bully, you're punching down, you should be punching up. You should be saying, why the hell are we giving shit away to the wealthiest people who don't need it, and it hurts us? Like, you don't understand how much it hurts us. When they get tax breaks, that money basically just gets hoovered up and out of the economy. Like since the 1970s, something like $50 trillion. I've heard higher figures than that. I've heard figures as high as $90 trillion that have been hoovered out of the economy. What do I mean by that? So they get tax breaks. That means there's less money going into the system. There's that, plus the money that they cheat on their taxes. Like something like we lose something like $500,000 per rich scumbag that should be paying taxes per day that they cheat on their taxes that they already owe by tax law. Even with all the all the ways that the system is rigged for them, they're not paying. So like if you want to get angry at people that are not paying their fair share, you should be punching up. And also you should be punching our representatives, rhetorically speaking, for allowing them to get away with it. And people who, if they understood this correctly, should have been celebrating. You know, this is going to be a defense in part of like one thing that I thought Joe Biden did, which is it's a sensible way to look at politics, right? Like I don't swear blind faith and allegiance to anybody, not a party, not a person running. Like there are people that I like more than most because they tend to have a lot of great contributions, and they seem to clearly understand the issues that are affecting most Americans, and they're proposing right-sized solutions that are actually based in reality and have been done before, right? But so getting back to this, so Joe Biden, I know lots of people are going to overreact, and like, listen, it's just an issue, right? Like Joe Biden spent money to increase IRS agents. Now, some people balked at that. Like there's lots of people that have a just true disdain for taxes. I would argue that's mostly just because they don't understand the system and the way it works. And like taxes are needed. We need to pay taxes. And again, I agree that we need to do tax reform. I don't think we necessarily get it right. I could talk to you all day about stuff that I would rather us not spend as much money on and move money to where it's needed. I want the taxes, I want there to be more benefits for regular working people, and also to get the people that are the most forgotten people in society that have been let down. And that's what it is. Society has let them down. If people have fallen through the cracks, we should be there to pick them up and help them. And we should continue to reform the system, because those are good dollars spent. Every dollar that you spend to help lift people out of poverty is beneficial for all of us, because people in poverty end up being more costly when they're on the street than if you actually just spent money on housing. And if they need services like mental health services or drug treatment services, some kind of jobs training, education, transportation, you get all that money back, and then some. It's better for society. And also, it's more expensive because a lot of times if they need healthcare because they don't have a job, because of our current system that's predatory, because they don't have a job, they can't afford insurance. Even if they somehow manage to get work, in a lot of these circumstances, it's just like once you've fallen that far down, it is really hard to come out of it. because of the way that our system works. Like a lot of people, like they'll get stuck looking for work for sometimes years because they're just missing a little something that the employer that needs, or they don't want to take the chance, or there's other applicants available that they can pick from, and they just keep not getting picked. Like a lot of us don't realize the fact that like we're doing as okay as we are because we got lucky a lot of times. And I'm not trying to diminish the work that people do. I know we all put effort in, and I know we can feel proud about the things that we've achieved. And I don't mean to diminish that. A lot of us just got lucky a lot of times. That is the way our system works. It's not truly based on merit. We got lucky enough to have some connections, to have somebody that vouched for us. That is not true for everybody. Some people get like a stain on them because they've made mistakes, and it's hard to come out of that. Like, we need to be more compassionate and caring for each other. We really do. And for the people that feel let down, that like fell for Republicans, or for even people that like they fell for a lot of the Democrats' rhetoric. Like I get really apathetic about our system because the Republicans don't speak to me, and the Democrats I feel like I'm being shunned by them very often. Like they're looking down their nose at me. And that's a bad system, and that's why I want change. I want people that would appeal to everybody, and it shouldn't matter what team you identify with. I wish people would stop identifying with a team. Like in a better system, I would argue it makes more sense for candidates to put down what policies they really meaningfully stand for. And I'd want like a resume of actions that they've engaged in to actually try to make some of that stuff happen in their local communities. And I want people that would like vouch for them to demonstrate that they've actually done it. And the ones that are hollow, that they got nothing, they haven't really done anything. And again, like, take this with a grain of salt, but I would rather like a ballot be like a different, like our vote be a different experience, where we actually feel like we actually get to know the candidates based on what they want to do and their actual commitment to the people. Because I think we're all sick and tired of just not believing in the people that we're supposed to cast our vote for. Like, I think that's screwed up. And there have been people that have connected. Like, obviously, like Bernie Sanders, he is the most popular independent in the country. We don't have a lot of those, so like maybe that's kind of part of it, but the guy keeps getting elected. People love the guy. Whether they agree with him or not, they love the guy because he's real, he's honest. Again, like, people got convinced by Trump. Like, Trump is a performer. He's good at marketing, and he's good at having an understanding for what the people might think and feel. And he does this like A/B testing thing. AOC, it's the same thing. Like, a lot of people get very reactive about AOC, and some people say that she's too young, maybe her optics aren't the best. But I see her as a genuine person who actually cares about constituents, and she actually does listen. I think she's made some mistakes in politics, but in our system, if you're in there, I give you credit if you haven't been fully corrupted. And I honestly, I don't know what it's like operating in DC. It strikes me as a toxic stew. So I can imagine that it's very hard to make the necessary calculations that you have to. And I give her credit for like not taking APAC money. She doesn't take PAC money. She does a lot of small dollar donations. Like Jasmine Crockett, like she's not afraid of anybody. She will take the fight to you. The same thing is true for Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, right? Like, some people get mad at me for supporting people like this, but like, if you ask me, I can give you an argument. It's not just that I'm like, I have like some people that I would say are probably operating in bad faith and maybe a little bit racist. And again, I'm not trying to put that on you necessarily. It's just, if you make the kind of arguments that I hear a lot, like, that's the way you're going to come off to me. And I'm not trying to make a judgment. Like, we all end up like having an understanding of like making quick assessments of people. And you know, if I were to make an accusation towards you, I would give you an opportunity to defend yourself. I would. And maybe we can have a conversation about that, and I'm willing to admit if I got it wrong, and I will adjust course. Like, I genuinely care about people, and I want this to be a better world. So I started off with just trying to shift the narrative of regular working people not accepting things that they shouldn't accept. Billionaires getting tax cuts, that is theft of the working class. It just is. They hoover money out. Like, do you know how significant it would be, or actually has been, right? Like, a lot of Trump supporters got really excited about the idea of Donald Trump cutting some of their taxes. It was temporary, but that was meaningful. They got excited about the idea that they got some money during COVID, and that has an effect on the local economy when you do that. And that's what I mean. Like, I think we should have some kind of programs, whether it's like a long-term thing of some kind of universal basic income until we lift people up that need it. And I prefer it be like a universal thing across the board, and then it just gets adjusted on the back end with taxes. So like, if you already have a lot of wealth and you already make over a certain amount per year, like, that money should come back. And it should somehow it needs to get into the local economies, because when you have circulation of money in the local economies, that's what makes everything go, right? Like, you got the money that you get, and you go back. Like, if you're a regular working person, you're going to go out and spend it in your community. But wealthy people, they just take it and they put it in the imaginary economy. They put it, with crypto and Bitcoin and their investments and stuff in their, they just add it to their pile, or they might buy some like luxury shit. But that doesn't really help the local economy in most cases. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I mean. Like, when money gets hoovered out, it doesn't really help us. And it also has an inflationary effect. Like, we casually talk about inflation and we just accept it as a given. But inflation is largely in part to bad tax policy, and also like bad federal and state policies. Like, there needs to be adjustments. Like, we need to have more restrictions. And we used to have more. Like, it used to be the case where rich people were not allowed to just do stock buybacks, which helped their compensation packages, because they're largely paid in stock. And it should be illegal. Like, I think it was Bush that maybe made it legal. And it used to be legal. What, Bush 2 maybe? I forget. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, that's wrong. And Reagan screwed up the whole tax code, and it's been really hard for us to like rein all that stuff back in. And the reason why we're in a bad situation now is we've had bad tax policy in terms of how wealth gets taxed, and now regular people get taxed. Their taxes went way the hell down. Corporations' taxes went way the hell down, and our taxes keep going up. And we get lots of different taxes. We get, like, people complain that we get taxed on everything, and like, to some degree, I get that argument. I understand. Like, if you don't have that much money and you're getting taxed everywhere, especially when you don't really see, like, if you don't feel the benefits of getting taxed, that stings. That sucks. It's bullshit. And if you tax wealthy people, I mean, if they're focused on paying the taxes, they're going to get annoyed about it. But like, the people that like understand that we are all in this system together, we're all in the same boat, they understand that it's necessary to tax wealth more, and they're willing to pay it gladly. Like, I think Warren Buffett was one of them. He said that if wealthy people just paid their fair share, regular folks basically would never have to pay taxes ever again. And if I want that to be the case, but I also want them to pay a little bit more beyond just what they're currently supposed to be taxed, because this country can really do a lot of amazing things if regular folks are allowed to participate more in the economy, instead of just having like a debt noose around our neck. If we don't have debt, or like we don't have, there's good debt and bad debt. Anyway, this is getting a little bit too nuanced. Like, if we're able to invest in things for ourselves, invest in our communities, to build like, small businesses, and to be nimble, to branch out to communities that need a little bit more help, that need more wealth. Like, I would much like, I don't really know how the whole like sister cities things work, but I kind of like the idea. Like, I wish there was like some kind of like a sister city with like you have like a big city being like a sister city with like some kind of rural community or something, where whatever like excess money is kind of floating around in the very wealthy area, that can get kind of distributed and doing some partnerships and projects with a rural area, and to build up like, commuting, so you can make it easier for people to visit their sister city. You can branch out a little bit more. don't think that's a crazy idea, and maybe people have seen examples of this. I'm struggling to like reach for that. I feel like I've seen that kind of thing before, but anyway, don't play the rich people's game and adopt their language. Recode it to what it actually is. Tax cuts for the rich are theft of the working class. Thanks.